The holding room was cold and quiet. Wu sat on the metal bench, her eyes closed, breathing slowly. In and out, in and out. She had been doing this for 20 minutes and her heartbeat was perfectly calm. Outside the room she could hear voices, loud voices, laughing voices. The aliens were celebrating already and the fight had not even started yet. Wu did not mind. Let them laugh. She had tried to warn them. The door opened with a soft hiss. A tall figure walked in. It was Ambassador Yang, the human representative to the Galactic Council. He looked tired. His face showed worry. "They are still refusing to reduce the numbers," Yang said quietly. 15 against 1. The commander says it would be an insult to send fewer warriors against a human. Wu opened her eyes. She looked at the ambassador and smiled just a little. "Did you tell them what I said?" "I did. I told them you requested they reconsider. I told them you warned this would not end well for them." Yang sat down beside her. They laughed harder. "Then I did my duty," Wu said. She stood up and began checking her equipment. The bodysuit was thin but strong. The weapons were standard issue, nothing special. The had insisted on equal equipment. They wanted to prove their warriors were simply better. Yang watched her prepare. "You know the entire galaxy is watching this, right? 30 different species have sent representatives. This is not just about the anymore. This is about whether humanity deserves respect in the galactic community." "I know," Wu said. She tightened a strap on her boots. "That is why I will not hold back." The ambassador stood. He put a hand on her shoulder. "Be careful, Wu. They are not weak. The Crimson Guard is their best. Each one has trained for 20 years. Wu looked up at him. Her eyes were calm, almost gentle. "And I grew up on Earth. That is 30 years of training that never stopped, not even in my sleep." Yang did not understand, but he nodded anyway. He left the room, and Wu was alone again. She walked to the mirror and looked at herself. She was not tall. She was not heavily muscled. By human standards, she was average. By galactic standards, she looked small and weak. The warriors were each 7 feet tall, covered in thick scales with muscles like machines. But Wu knew something that did not. Size was not everything. Speed mattered. Endurance mattered. And the will to continue when your body screamed at you to stop, that mattered most of all. The intercom crackled. "Lieutenant Wu, please proceed to the arena entrance." She took one last deep breath and walked out. The tunnel to the arena was long and dark. With each step, the sound grew louder. Thousands of aliens filled the observation decks, their voices creating a wall of noise. Wu walked through it all with her head up, her face showing nothing. At the entrance, she met Commander. He was massive, even for a. His scales were deep red, polished to shine under the lights. His eyes were yellow and cold. Behind him stood his warriors, the Crimson Guard, 15 of the most dangerous soldiers in the Empire. "Look down at Wu. You are the human champion." His voice was deep, like rocks grinding together. "I am Lieutenant Wu of the Earth Defense Corps," she replied in perfect. The commander's eyes widened slightly. He had not expected her to speak his language. "You speak well," said, "but speaking and fighting are very different things." "They are," Wu agreed. She looked past him at the 15 warriors. They were checking their weapons, stretching their muscles, confident and ready. She looked back at, "Commander, I want to give you one chance. Withdraw this challenge. This does not have to be a humiliation for your warriors." For a moment there was silence, then threw back his head and laughed. It was a huge, booming sound. Behind him, his warriors laughed too. In the observation decks, the alien delegates joined in. The sound echoed through the arena. Only Ambassador Yang did not laugh. He sat in the human section, his face serious, his hands folded. "You are brave, little human," said when he stopped laughing. "Or perhaps just foolish, we shall see." He gestured to the arena. "After you." Wu walked past him into the light. The Crucible arena was enormous. The floor was flat and open, with a few scattered obstacles for cover. The ceiling was high, covered with lights and cameras. Every moment would be recorded. Every mistake would be seen by the entire galaxy. Wu walked to the center and stopped. She turned slowly, looking at the observation decks. Thousands of alien faces looked back at her. Some were curious. Some were amused. Some looked hungry for violence. The 15 warriors spread out around her. They moved with precision, each one taking a position. They formed a circle, trapping her in the middle. Their formation was perfect. They had done this 1,000 times before. Wu stood still and waited. The arena announcer's voice boomed out, speaking in galactic standard. This combat trial will test the worth of humanity's military forces. 15 Crimson Guard warriors against 1 human soldier. The simulation will track all hits and eliminations. When a warrior is eliminated, they must leave the combat zone. The trial ends when all warriors of one side are eliminated, or after 3 hours, whichever comes first. 3 hours, Wu almost smiled. They thought this would take 3 hours. Combatants ready, the announcer said. Wu closed her eyes. She thought of Earth. She thought of running 10 miles before breakfast. She thought of training in the mountains where the air was thin and every breath was work. She thought of her instructors, who never let her rest, who pushed her until she thought she would break, and then pushed her further. She thought of home, the beautiful, terrible world that created humanity. She opened her eyes. Begin. The warriors moved as one, closing the circle. Wu took 1 step forward directly toward the nearest warrior. She did not run. She did not rush. She walked with purpose, calm and ready. The first warrior raised his weapon, confident. He was twice her size. He had fought hundreds of battles. He had trained his entire life for moments like this. He had never fought a human before. Wu moved. The galaxy watched and learned. The first warrior never saw it coming. One moment Wu was 5 meters away, walking calmly toward him. The next moment she was there, inside his guard, moving faster than his eyes could follow. Her strikes were precise and quick. 3 hits to weak points in his armor. The simulation sensors registered critical damage. The warrior stumbled back, confused, and the elimination signal flashed above his head. 8 seconds. The first Crimson Guard warrior was out in 8 seconds. The arena went quiet. The laughing stopped. Wu did not pause. She was already moving to the second warrior. This one was ready, his weapon up, but ready did not matter. Wu fought like water flowing downhill, impossible to stop, always finding the path forward. She slipped past his guard, struck twice, and moved on. Another elimination signal. 15 seconds total, 2 warriors down. In the observation deck, Commander leaned forward. His amusement was gone. His eyes were locked on the small human moving through his warriors like a storm. "She is fast," one of his officers said quietly. "Too fast," replied. "How is she that fast?" Ambassador Yang heard this. He leaned over slightly. "Earth has stronger gravity than most worlds in the galaxy. Our bodies evolved to move in conditions that would crush most species. Here, in your standard arena gravity, she feels almost weightless." Looked at the human ambassador. "You knew this would happen." "She tried to warn you," Yang said simply. Down in the arena, the warriors were adapting. The remaining 13 pulled back, reforming their circle, but wider now. They had seen their companions fall. They knew this was real. The third warrior to engage Wu lasted longer, 20 seconds. He was better prepared, his defense stronger. But Wu did not just fight with speed. She fought with patience. She waited for the opening, then struck without mercy. The elimination signal flashed. The fourth warrior tried a different approach. He used his size, trying to overpower her with strength. It was a mistake. Wu redirected his force, used his momentum against him, and sent him crashing to the ground. Another signal. 4 down, 11 remaining. 2 minutes had passed. The warriors changed their formation. They abandoned the circle and formed a line, shoulder to shoulder. This was Tactic Row, designed for overwhelming firepower. They would attack together, using their numbers to crush any opponent. Wu stopped. She stood in the center of the arena, breathing easily, looking at the line of warriors. They were bigger, stronger, and heavily armed. By every logical measure, they should win. But logic did not account for Earth. The warriors opened fire with their energy weapons all at once. The training simulation showed the energy blasts as bright streaks of light. Wu moved before the shots reached her. She did not run in a straight line. She zigzagged, rolled, changed direction without warning. The human body was built for this kind of movement. Millions of years of running from predators, chasing prey across open ground, had created something the galaxy had never seen before. A pursuit hunter in a galaxy of ambush predators. Wu reached the line. She did not try to fight all 11 at once. She picked one warrior, the one on the far left, and focused everything on him. 3 strikes. Elimination. Then she was gone, rolling away before the others could react. The warriors turned, trying to find her. She was already behind them. Another warrior fell, then another. 7 warriors remained, and they were starting to understand. This was not a battle. This was a hunt, and they were the prey. Regroup, one of the warriors shouted in, defensive positions. They pulled together, forming a tight circle, weapons pointed outward. It was a good tactic, solid, defensive, safe. Wu walked toward them, not running now, just walking. Her face was calm. There was no anger, no excitement. She looked like someone doing a job, nothing more. One of the warriors was breathing hard. Wu could hear it from 10 meters away. They were strong, but their strength came from their muscles, and muscles needed oxygen. They had evolved on a world with rich air and low gravity. Everything came easy to them. Earth gave humanity nothing easily. She is not even tired, one warrior whispered to another. Quiet, the leader of the group snapped, but his voice shook slightly. Wu stopped 3 meters from their circle. You are tired already, she said in. Her voice was gentle, almost kind. Your hearts are beating too fast. Your muscles are burning. You can feel it, yes. The warriors said nothing, but their weapons trembled slightly. Do you know why I am not tired? Wu asked. She was not taunting them, she was teaching. My people evolved by chasing animals across endless plains. We would run after them for hours, sometimes days, until they collapsed from exhaustion. We are not the fastest species. We are not the strongest, but we do not stop. We never stop. One of the warriors made a decision. He broke from the circle and charged at her, roaring a battle cry. It was brave. It was also fatal. Wu, his attack, struck him in the back as he passed, and the elimination signal flashed. She did not even change her expression. 6 left, she said quietly. The remaining warriors looked at each other. Fear was growing in their eyes. This was supposed to be a demonstration of superiority. It was becoming something else entirely. In the observation deck, delegates from 30 species watched in silence. No one was laughing now. They were seeing something new, something they had never imagined. The humans were small. Their technology was basic. Their ships were slow. Everyone had assumed they would be easy to dominate. But evolution did not care about technology. Evolution cared about survival, and humanity had survived horrors these soft galactic species could not imagine. How long has she been fighting? Asked a delegate from the Union. 12 minutes, Yang replied. She will tire soon, yes, they asked hopefully. Yang looked at the delegate. Human endurance runners can maintain physical activity for over 24 hours without stopping. Wu is not even close to her limit. This face went pale. Down in the arena, Wu moved again. The 6 remaining warriors tried to stop her. They used every tactic they knew, every technique they had trained. Nothing worked. One by one, the elimination signals flashed. When the 5th warrior fell, only one remained from the group. He was young, younger than the others. His scales were lighter in color. He looked at Wu with wide eyes. "Please," he said in broken galactic standard, "how do we stop you?" Wu tilted her head slightly. "You cannot," she said, not unkindly. "You should not have started." She moved. The elimination signal flashed. 7 warriors eliminated, 8 remaining. 15 minutes had passed. Wu stood alone in the center of the arena. She had a small cut on her arm from a near miss. A thin line of red blood ran down to her wrist. She looked at it for a moment, then ignored it completely. The 8 remaining warriors stood in different parts of the arena, no longer trying to work together. Their formations had failed. Their tactics had failed. Now they were just trying to survive. Wu began to walk toward the nearest one. Her steps were steady and sure. The galaxy watched and learned to fear. The 8th warrior was named. He was a veteran, 40 years old, with scars across his scales from a dozen battles. He had fought rebels, pirates, and wild beasts. He was considered one of the finest warriors in the Crimson Guard. He lasted 18 seconds against Wu. When his elimination signal flashed, he did not feel shame. He felt relief. Relief that it was over. Relief that he did not have to face those calm, relentless eyes anymore. 7 warriors remained. They had given up trying to attack. Now they were running, using the obstacles in the arena for cover, trying to stay away from the human. It was not cowardice. It was survival instinct. Every creature in the galaxy knew when it was being hunted. Wu did not chase them wildly. She moved with purpose, cutting off escape routes, herding them like a shepherd with frightened animals. The arena was large, but it was not infinite. There were only so many places to hide. She found the 9th warrior behind a barrier. He was breathing hard, his chest heaving. Sweat dripped from his scales, something that should not happen in the arena's controlled temperature. But his body was working too hard, burning energy too fast. "Please," he gasped. "A moment, just a moment to rest." Wu looked at him. Her own breathing was faster now, but still controlled, still steady. "In real battle, the enemy does not give you moments," she said. Then she moved and another signal flashed. 6 warriors left. 30 minutes had passed. In the observation deck, the mood had completely changed. The delegates sat forward in their seats, watching intently. This was not entertainment anymore. This was education. This was the galaxy learning something important. "Her heart rate has barely increased," reported a medical officer monitoring Wu's vital signs. "Blood oxygen levels are normal. Muscle fatigue is minimal." "That is impossible," said the medical officer. "She has been in constant combat for half an hour." "It is not impossible for a human," Ambassador Yang said. "It is normal." Commander said nothing. His hands gripped the railing in front of him, his claws digging small marks into the metal. His finest warriors, the pride of the Empire, were being systematically dismantled by one small human, and she had warned him. She had given him a chance to avoid this. Down in the arena, the 10th warrior made a desperate decision. He came out from cover and charged at Wu with his blade drawn. If he was going to be eliminated, he would do it with honor, facing his opponent. Wu respected this. She met his charge head-on. They exchanged strikes, blade against blade, moving in a deadly dance. The warrior was skilled, his technique perfect. But perfect technique meant nothing against someone who simply would not stop. The fight lasted 40 seconds. Then the warrior made a small mistake, a tiny opening. Wu exploited it instantly. The elimination signal flashed. But this time something different happened. The warrior's blade had connected. Wu had a cut across her shoulder, deeper than the first one. Blood ran down her arm, staining her bodysuit. The remaining 5 warriors saw this. Hope flickered in their eyes. She could be hurt. She could bleed. Wu looked at the wound. She touched it with her fingers, checking how deep it was. Then she looked up at the 5 remaining warriors and smiled. It was not a happy smile. It was the smile of a predator who had just been challenged. "Do you know what this means?" she asked him. It means I can show you something else about humans. She started walking toward the nearest warrior. The wound on her shoulder bled freely, but she did not favor that arm. She did not slow down. She moved exactly as she had before, as if the injury did not exist. Humans do not stop when we are hurt, she said, loud enough for all of them to hear. Pain is just information. We acknowledge it. We continue anyway. The 11th warrior tried to run. Wu caught him in seconds. Elimination. 5-4. The remaining warriors were terrified now. They had seen their companion wound her, and she had not even paused. What kind of creature could do that? What kind of species ignored pain as if it was nothing? Our world tried to kill us, Wu said as she walked toward the next warrior. Every day, every moment, Earth tested us. Predators with teeth like knives, diseases that burned through populations, whether that could freeze or cook us, gravity that broke our bones. We survived it all. Do you know why? The 12th warrior tried to fight. He was eliminated in seconds. 4 warriors left. We survived because we refused to die, Wu continued. When our bodies said stop, we kept going. When our minds said give up, we pushed harder. We are not the strongest species. We are not the fastest. We are the species that does not quit. The 13th warrior was found hiding behind an obstacle. He did not even try to fight. He just looked at Wu with terrified eyes as the elimination signal flashed above his head. 3 warriors remained. 50 minutes had passed. Wu stopped in the center of the arena. She was breathing harder now. Sweat covered her face. The wound on her shoulder still bled, and there were other small cuts and bruises on her body. She looked tired. But she was still standing, still moving, still hunting. The 3 remaining warriors grouped together one final time. They were among the best of the best, each one a champion in their own right. They looked at each other and made a silent agreement. They would attack together, all at once. Perhaps together they could do what none of them could do alone. They charged from 3 different directions, trying to overwhelm her with numbers and speed. Wu saw them coming. She had been waiting for this. She did not try to defend against all 3. Instead, she focused on one, the warrior coming from her left. She moved toward him, not away. She struck him down as the other 2 reached her. Now it was 2 against 1, close combat, no room to maneuver. The warriors fought well, coordinating their attacks, trying to trap her between them. For 30 seconds it seemed like they might succeed. Then Wu did something unexpected. She took a hit. A full force strike to her side that made her stumble. The sensors registered significant damage. But instead of pulling back, she used the momentum from the hit to spin toward the warrior who had struck her. Her counterattack was brutal and fast. Elimination. 2 warriors left, just 2. The final warrior who had struck her stared in disbelief. "You let me hit you," he said. "I used your hit," Wu corrected him, breathing hard. "There is a difference." She moved toward the last 2 warriors. They backed away, not attacking, not defending, just backing away. "This is not fair," one of them said. "You are not normal, you are a monster." Wu stopped. She looked at him, and for the first time there was something other than calm in her eyes. There was sadness. "I am not a monster," she said quietly. "I am just human. We are all like this, every single one of us. This is what Earth made us. We are what happens when a species refuses to go extinct." She looked up at the observation deck, at Commander. "I warned you," she said. Then she moved, and 2 more elimination signals flashed in quick succession. 15 warriors eliminated, 1 human victor. Time elapsed 63 minutes. Wu stood alone in the center of the arena, bleeding, exhausted but unbroken. The galaxy watched in stunned silence, and finally understood what humanity truly was. The simulation ended with a loud tone that echoed through the arena. The lights changed from combat red to neutral white. The weapons powered down. It was over. Wu stood in the center of the arena, her chest rising and falling with deep breaths. Blood dripped from her shoulder onto the floor. Her bodysuit was torn in 3 places. Her face was pale with exhaustion. But she was standing. The 15 warriors were scattered across the arena floor, sitting or lying where they had been eliminated. Some looked angry. Some looked confused. All of them looked defeated. For a long moment, nobody moved. The thousands of aliens in the observation deck sat in complete silence. No cheering, no commentary, just silence as they processed what they had witnessed. Wu removed her helmet. Her black hair was soaked with sweat, stuck to her face and neck. She ran a hand through it, pushed it back, and took a deep breath. Then she did something that surprised everyone. She walked to the nearest warrior and offered her hand to help him stand. The warrior, the young one who had begged to know how to stop her, looked at her hand like it might be a weapon. Then slowly he took it. Wu pulled him to his feet with surprising strength. "You fought with honor," she said to him. "Your technique was good. On another day, against another opponent, you would have won." The young warrior did not know what to say. He just nodded and stepped back. Wu moved through the arena, helping each warrior to their feet, offering words of respect. Not pity, respect. She had defeated them, but she did not treat them as defeated enemies. She treated them as fellow soldiers who had done their duty. The last warrior she helped up was the veteran. He was old enough to remember the great wars when the Empire fought for its survival. He had seen real combat, real death. He looked into Wu's eyes and saw something there he recognized. "You have killed before," he said quietly. "Not in simulation, real combat." Wu nodded once. "Yes." "How many?" "Enough to know that today was not about killing," she replied. "Today was about teaching." Studied her for a moment longer, then gave a small bow of respect. "You taught us well, human." A door opened at the edge of the arena. Commander walked in, alone. The massive commander crossed the arena floor with slow, heavy steps. His face was unreadable. The fallen warriors immediately stood, coming to attention despite their exhaustion. Ignored them. His eyes were locked on Wu. He stopped 3 meters away from her. The entire galaxy watched this moment. What would the proud commander do? Would he make excuses? Would he claim the contest was unfair? Would he demand a rematch? Raised his right hand to his chest, claws extended, and drew them across his armor in a diagonal line. The sound of metal on metal rang out clearly. It was the warrior's salute, the highest sign of respect one soldier could give another. "You warned us," said his voice carrying through the arena. "We did not listen. The fault is ours, not yours." Wu returned the salute, though her version was the human military salute, hand to forehead. "You gave me worthy opponents, Commander. Your warriors fought with skill and courage." "They fought well," agreed. "You fought better." He paused, then asked the question that everyone wanted answered. "How? How is one human soldier worth 15 of our finest warriors?" Wu was quiet for a moment, choosing her words carefully. "It is not that I am worth 15 of your warriors, Commander. It is that we are different. Your people evolved on a gentle world, low gravity, rich air, abundant food. Your evolution made you strong and fast for short bursts, perfect ambush hunters." She gestured to herself. "My people evolved on a harsh world, high gravity that crushed our bones until they grew thick, thin air that forced our lungs to work harder, scarce food that made us chase prey for days without stopping. Our evolution did not make us the best at any one thing. It made us able to continue when everything told us to stop." Listened carefully. Around him, his warriors listened too. "You asked me how one human equals 15, Wu continued. "The truth is, I do not equal 15 of you. Each of your warriors is stronger than me, faster in a sprint, better with weapons, but I have one advantage that matters more than all of those things." "What advantage?" asked. "I do not know how to quit," Wu said simply. "None of us do. Humanity survived ice ages, plagues, volcanic eruptions, asteroid impacts, and 1,000 other disasters. We survived because when everything said die, we said not yet. That is what I am. That is what all humans are. We are the species that refuses to end. The arena was completely silent. Every delegate, every observer, every warrior heard these words and understood. Is every human soldier like you? Asked. No, Wu said honestly, some are better. His eyes widened slightly. Then, to everyone's surprise, he laughed. It was not a mocking laugh. It was the laugh of someone who had learned an important lesson. The galaxy has been very foolish about humanity, he said. Yes, Ambassador Yang's voice came from the observation deck speakers. They have been. Looked up at the observation deck, then back to Wu. We came here to prove superiority. We came to show the galaxy that humans are weak and unworthy of respect. He paused. We have failed in this goal. You have succeeded in a different goal, Wu said. You have shown the galaxy that the Empire values truth over pride. That is worth more than any victory. Considered this. Then he nodded slowly. Perhaps you are right. He looked at his warriors. We have much to learn, and I think we should learn it from you. He turned back to Wu. Would you be willing to train a group of warriors in human combat techniques? I want my people to understand how Earth soldiers think, how they fight. Wu looked surprised. You want me to train your warriors after I defeated them? Especially because you defeated them, said. Pride that prevents learning is worthless. I would rather have warriors who know the truth about combat than warriors who believe comfortable lies. Wu thought about this for a moment. Then she bowed the formal Earth military bow. I would be honored, Commander. Return the bow. Then he did something that shocked everyone in the arena. He knelt on one knee before Wu, his warriors following his lead. The Empire offers friendship to humanity, he said formally. We offer alliance, trade, and mutual defense. We were wrong about your people. We ask forgiveness for our arrogance. In the observation deck, delegates from 30 species sat in stunned silence. The proud empire, known for their warrior culture and their pride, was kneeling before a human. Ambassador Yang stood up. His voice was formal but warm. On behalf of humanity, we accept your friendship and your alliance, and there is nothing to forgive. You gave us a chance to show the galaxy who we truly are. For that, we thank you. The arena erupted in noise as every species began talking at once, processing what they had just witnessed. The medical bay on Apex Prime Station was quiet and clean. Wu sat on an examination table while a medical drone worked on her shoulder wound. The cut was not deep, but it needed proper treatment. Ambassador Yang stood nearby, watching the medical work with concern. You scared me today, he said quietly. When you took that hit to your side, I thought the fight might turn against you. Wu smiled slightly. I was never in real danger, Ambassador. The simulation would have stopped if I was seriously hurt. Perhaps, Yang said, but the galaxy was watching if you had lost. I would not have lost, Wu said calmly. Not against 15 opponents, maybe not against 30. Earth made us too stubborn to lose fights like that. The door opened. A young reporter entered, with silver skin and large eyes. She held a recording device. Lieutenant Wu, may I ask you some questions? The entire galaxy wants to know more about you. Wu looked at Ambassador Yang, who nodded. Keep it brief, he told the reporter. She needs rest. The reporter activated her device. Lieutenant, how did you win today? What is your secret? Wu thought about how to answer. I did not win, she said finally. I survived. That is what humans do. We survive. Earth spent billions of years trying to kill us. Bad weather, dangerous animals, diseases, disasters, everything wanted us dead, but we refused to die. That refusal, that stubbornness is in every human. It is not special. It is just who we are. But you moved so fast, the reporter said. You never seemed to tire. How is that possible? Earth has stronger gravity than most worlds, Wu explained. When I stand on other planets, I feel light. My muscles work easily. My bones are dense and strong from growing up in high gravity. My lungs are efficient from breathing air that is thinner than most species prefer. Evolution made us this way. And the pain, the reporter asked. You were wounded, but you did not stop. You did not even slow down. Wu was quiet for a moment. Pain is just information, she said. It tells you something is wrong, but humans learned a long time ago that you can acknowledge pain and continue anyway. In Earth's history, stopping because of pain often meant death, so we evolved the ability to push through it, not ignore it but function despite it. The reporter's eyes were wide. Is every human like you? In potential, yes, Wu said. I train more than most. I am a soldier, but any human could do what I did with proper training. We are all built the same way. The reporter asked a few more questions, then thanked Wu and left. Ambassador Yang sat down next to the examination table. The galaxy is talking about nothing but this fight, he said. 30 species are reconsidering their opinions of humanity. Some are frightened. Some are impressed. Some want to form alliances immediately. And the Wu asked. Yang smiled. Commander has formally requested that you train 100 of his warriors in human combat techniques. He wants to create a new division in the military, trained in Earth methods. He is calling it the Endurance Guard. Wu raised her eyebrows. 100 warriors, that is a lot of training. You do not have to do it alone, Yang said. Earth is sending 50 combat instructors to help you. This could be the beginning of something important, Wu. Real cooperation between humans and other species, built on respect, not fear. Built on respect earned through combat, Wu said thoughtfully. I wish there was a better way. Perhaps someday there will be, Yang said. But for now, this is what we have. You showed the galaxy that humanity deserves respect. That is no small thing. 3 months later, Wu stood in the same arena, but this time it was different. The observation decks were empty. The floor was covered with training equipment, and in front of her stood 100 warriors, including all 15 from the Crimson Guard. Commander stood beside her, watching his warriors with a critical eye. They are nervous, he said quietly to Wu. They know what you are capable of. Good, Wu said. Fear can be a teacher, but we will replace their fear with understanding. She walked forward to address the warriors. They stood at attention, watching her carefully. You are here because you want to understand how humans fight, Wu began in. But before I teach you techniques, I must teach you philosophy. Human combat is not about strength or speed or weapons. It is about will. It is about deciding that you will not stop, no matter what happens. She paced in front of them. Your people are stronger than humans, faster in short bursts. Your weapons are better. Your armor is thicker. By all logical measures, you should defeat us easily. One of the younger warriors raised a hand. Then, why can you defeat 15 of us? Because, Wu said, combat is not logical. It is about who can endure longer, who can push their body past its limits, who can feel pain and exhaustion and fear and continue fighting anyway. She stopped and looked at them all. I am going to teach you to fight like humans. That means I am going to push you harder than you have ever been pushed. You will want to quit. You will think you cannot continue. And when you feel that way, that is when the real training begins. The warriors looked uncertain. Wu smiled. But I promise you this, she continued. If you complete this training, you will be better warriors than you ever imagined. Not because you will learn new techniques, though you will, but because you will learn that your limits are much further away than you think. She looked at Commander. Shall we begin? Nodded. Begin. 6 months later, the Endurance Guard completed their training. 100 warriors stood in formation, looking different than they had before. They stood taller. Their eyes were sharper. They moved with a new kind of confidence. More importantly, they had learned the lesson Wu taught. They had learned to push past their limits. They had learned that exhaustion was just a feeling, not a stopping point. They had learned to think like humans. The graduation ceremony was attended by delegates from across the galaxy. Species that had dismissed humanity as weak newcomers now watched with respect as the warriors demonstrated their new skills. But the most important moment came at the end, when Commander approached Wu. "You have given the Empire a great gift," he said. "You taught my warriors not just how to fight, but how to think differently, how to be more than we were." "You gave me a gift too," Wu replied. "You gave me the chance to show that humans are not just warriors. We are teachers, we are friends, we are partners in building something better." Extended his hand in the human gesture of friendship. Wu took it. "The galaxy is changing," said. "Humanity is changing it. I am glad we learned this truth through sparring matches instead of real war." "So am I," Wu said. She looked out at the training ground, at the warriors who now carried a piece of Earth's legacy with them. She thought about her home world, the beautiful, terrible planet that had forged humanity in fire and ice and endless struggle. She had warned them, they had not listened, but in the end they had learned. And that, Wu thought, was worth more than any victory. The galaxy had learned what humanity was. Not monsters, not weaklings, not conquerors. Just survivors who refused to quit. And sometimes, that was the most terrifying thing of all.